6 minutes, 40 seconds. This is the view from which I live. As she said, I'm Molly Schreiber, and I'm very proud to be a Schreiber and live in Schreiberville. 416 Raymond Place, just by the 4th Street elevator, or better known off of Fenland Place, is the view from which I live. I'm going to give you tonight a little bit of history about the view of which I came from and the joy that it brings my family every day. So this is the view from which I live. Every morning, this is my sunrise. If you know my husband, Tom Schreiber, and you follow him on Facebook, I guarantee at least twice a week he posts a picture like this because we all enjoy the view from which we live. My family lives on the view of which I live. My family consists of my husband, Tom, who's the only person I invited here tonight to listen to me, and then my beautiful 4 children, Sydney, Maggie, Jacob, and Maria. And then we've added on a couple more because our kids are getting older. Tom and I are a blended family. We work very fast when we met each other. I was widowed at the age of 30 with 3 kids under the age of 3. So Tom got me with these 3 little ones right here. And I was the lucky one who got the bonus daughter of Sydney at 12. We met in September of 2008. We got engaged in December, married in June, and he adopted my 3 kids in August. So big round of applause for him. Just kidding, I didn't put that in the time. The view from which I live is an amazing place that we take homecoming pictures, prom pictures, family pictures. We have photographers ask us to use the background. We've had weddings in our background. But the most important person that I need to pay homage for the view from which I live is a man who brought wagons to Dubuque. His name is A.A. Cooper, Augustine Cooper, and he came to Dubuque in 1850. In 1850, he came as an apprentice working on wagons, and in 1862, he founded what was called Cooper Wagon Works. Cooper Wagon Works was in the place where the crust was, and now is the barrel house. In 1862, he opened Cooper Wagon Works, and it burnt to the ground in 1917. But that wasn't the end of the legacy of A.A. Cooper, because it lived on in his Greystone Mansion, which was at 540 Bluff Street. The Greystone Mansion is where he lived with his family and built it in 1867. The mansion, known as the Greystone, was across the street from the Redstone, which was also known as the new post office parking lot. You know, the one with that really, really expensive bathroom in Dubuque? No opinion there. But in 1956, they demolished the Greystone. It was a really sad time. But the 2 living people from the Cooper family, which was his daughter and his niece, took and demolished the house, but took all the artifacts from the inside of it and moved it up to the view of which I live. They took the actual stones off the Greystone, 1 stone at a time. Well, they didn't, because I'm sure they were wealthy enough to have somebody do it for them. And they moved it up to 416 Raymond Place and created 416, which is my home, and 418 Raymond Place, which is our beautiful Airbnb, which is not only the view from which I live, but a view from which you could live for the nice price of $145 a night. The view from which I live hails this beautiful aerial view as well. It gives us the ability to look at all these amazing places in Dubuque, like the Shot Tower. We're able to see the Julian and watch the river every single day. As I said, they took lots of different artifacts from the house when they destroyed the Cooper Greystone. One of them being this stained glass window. This is Raymond. We later learned through our Dubuque history that it's actually Christopher Columbus. So we're going back to saying it's Raymond. The view from which I live allows us to see lots of seasons happening in Dubuque. We get to see the beautiful rainfalls like we had through the night last night. We get to also experience the fall leaves changing and watching the river rise and fall throughout the season, especially this year. But my favorite is the winter. It's like we're in a snow globe. Our bedroom is up on top of our house, and we have this beautiful bay window, and we get to watch the snow fall. Talk about peaceful, calm, and serenity. The view from which I live gives us lots of seasons to watch externally, but the view from which we live also made us take a little look at internally the view from which we live. In October of this last year, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And my world was literally rocked. Because if you know me, I'm a go, 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 go girl. I don't sit still. Amanda, I loved your talk too. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I had to undergo surgery. I had to undergo radiation and sit still. But stillness is part of what I teach others, but wasn't necessarily practicing it for myself. The view from which I live was something I had to sit and watch externally and internally. I was able to start a meditation practice. A daily meditation practice, if you follow me on Instagram, it shows day after day after day of my meditation practice, often giving you the view from which I live. So the meditation practice went on 250 days when I was doing it externally, when I decided to take it back internally and look at the view from which I live a little bit closer. You can still go on and see all of this, but meditation gives us that ability to stop, look at the view that's outside of us, but then close our eyes and look at the view from which we live internally. Cancer was a gift to me to be able to do that. I have so enjoyed putting together this PechaKucha talk and learning all about Dubuque history. So if you ever happen to be near that 4th Street elevator and you're brave enough to ride it up, walk on down to 416 Raymond Place. You can even knock on our door if you want to, or you can knock on the Airbnb door. But walk around the back and take a view from the view from which we live. We are going to enjoy many sunrises and sunsets and many, many more seasons in this view from which we live. Thank you.